Hello and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we're going to be working on the Moomin House Stage 48. Here's the veranda. Took a little bit of work to get this thing to actually level out and stay right. But that's another story. So today we're going to be starting the roof, and we're going to be doing a table for inside the house or inside the veranda. And a little trivia tidbit, if anybody cares. This is a video within a video because I started working on the Disney Dollhouse Stage 13 just a little bit ago, ran into some problems, have to set it aside and let some glue set while I'm waiting for that, I decided I'd work on the Moomin House. This is how I end up with videos that take 3 and 4 days to get done. Okay, so we have in here left and right roof sides somewhere. There they are. So, I'm sorry, these are the A-frame parts. They're going to go on here. They're going to go up on here. Then we've got the front roof slope. And roof frame part B is also going to go up there somewhere. And then we have the left and right parts. These little lines that you see here are where the shingles are going to go on here. This should go, this should line up just like that. And then that's all the roof parts. The rest of this is all parts for the little drawer. You see you got some legs, you got the drawer pull, body, the drawer itself, and the front and back of the drawer. So we'll set this over here. It says to connect the lines on these slopes. So do I have I have a pencil, but do I have a ruler? So this one goes all the way across. And what this is for, your reason to connect these lines is so that when you're doing the shingles on here, they are long, they're long pieces, and that way you're not missing a little bit. It lines them up all the way across. This doesn't have to be perfect, but your shingles should be as close to perfect as you can get. Almost done with this one. Once I get this first piece done, you'll have seen what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera while I go ahead and do the other two parts. It's kind of funny, they could have done the laser etch, but anybody who's been around me, who's seen my channel, realizes, or seen some of my videos, realizes that I call out things that I think they could have done a little bit better. Started that on the Enterprise when I was working on it, and the fact that they gave you all those windows just so that you felt like you were doing a lot more than you really were. So you can see those lines. Those lines are running across to line up your shingles. Let me pause the camera. I'll take care of these two and be right back. Okay, so you can see, got the lines there, there, and there. So let me set these off to the side while we work on the roof proper, or on the A-frame. So what it tells you to do is take this piece here, and you're going to slide these both down inside of here, keeping them as square as possible, because you can see it can shift quite a bit. And as soon as you get them in there, what you're going to do then is put them on the roof itself, which is going to square it up pretty well. Actually, don't need the big glue bottle. Let's get out that one. Ah, look, that one's almost out. This one's flowing. Problems that you encounter when building a model. Actually, instead of doing it the way I was about to, I'm going to do it this way. I was going to try and put it in the gap. Instead of putting it in the gap, I'll put it on the flats. I will put one bit of glue right there. And we're going to take this one and do the same thing. And having it on the flats is going to get glue all over the table when you drop it. It's going to get it in there without having to fuss with it. Where are those things? Of course, I have stuff set on top by Q-tips. So let me kind of clean this up a little bit. I've got glue all over my fingers too. That's awesome. This one's a little bit easier because it's open. Only need it on one side on here. Just looking. I know I needed more glue on there somewhere, but it wasn't just popping into my head where I needed it. So this one's going to slide on here like this. Wipe off the excess. Put glue on the tabs. It's just, all it says is put the glue on the tabs. I'm not going to just put it on the tabs. Matter of fact, I'm going to almost miss the tabs. So I want it to glue to the roof surface, or the ceiling of the veranda itself. A little bit on each tab. One thing about putting glue on these tabs like this is it not only is going to firm it up and make it stick together, but it also will act as a lubricant. It's really funny when you try and dry fit something and it won't go together, but you put a little bit of glue on it and it slides right in. I heard a bunch of people from HLI streams just snicker. You know who you are. You guys know who you are. Okay, there. That one in there. I'm trying to be a little bit delicate because this thing is not flimsy, but it was a lot of work to get this to where it's at. I had huge clamps on this thing holding it together, and I had to sit there and adjust it back and forth a little bit. If you haven't watched the last video, go back and watch it. It was interesting, and while I'm working this, you can see it flexes. I'm hoping that when this is done, this will actually glue up to the wall, which will help it a lot. So now what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to take this piece here, and we're going to lay it on here like that. We're going to match up, and we're going to match up the ends. Yeah, it's a little flimsy. This will help to, sitting on something because it's just a hair out of square. Might have to do something about that, but not right now. Not in the middle of trying to put on this roof. So we're going to put glue on each of these pieces. Just looking back here. Okay, those are down this side. A little bit down the edge here. Kind of interesting that they tell you to put this one on first because the beveled edges are toward the back here. So line this up. Make sure it's on there. Get the other one, get the correct one. We're going to put glue on these two edges. Just looking at how these are going to line up. I'm going to slide that in there like that. Okay, I was looking at that and I was like, that doesn't look right here. It says in the book specifically, the lines do not need to be aligned. In other words, they're not going to match. I'm not positive how, but there's obviously going to be something that is sealing each of the corners. So turn this, slide this down in here. Come on, go in there where you're supposed to be. And it's kind of funny that it does not want to come completely together. Again, not going to matter. This gap here at the top, sorry, I'm almost off screen, is not going to make that a big difference. Oh, there we go. That should fix some of it. I almost wonder if it would have been better to build the roof. No, because you needed to be able, I was going to say if it would have been better to build the roof off the veranda. But it's better this way because you need to be able to, when you were putting it on, when I was putting it on, I needed to be able to see where those pins were going to hit. I'm probably fussing with this way more than I need to. So I'm going to stop before I break something. I have broken many things on this house. Not many, but I've broken a few things, and it's a little bit frustrating when it happens. So let's turn the page. And here again, they are doing, when they do the coloring, they're painting it. I will not be painting it. I will be staining it. But let's get these parts out. It says using a craft knife. I will use an X-Acto. Oops, dropping legs everywhere. Make sure that's nothing left in there. So, get the X-Acto knife. Look, I don't think I've ever really pointed this out. Wow, hit the camera, knock it around. But you can see right there the little spots where on plastic models that would be a sprue gate. This is just where they didn't use the laser etcher or the laser cutter actually to cut through. That way the pieces stay inside the wooden panel. If you don't cut them out the way I am, it is very easy to, if you just try and push them out, which some instructions say to just push them out, but if you do, you can easily break parts off, like this right here. One of these legs easily, that leg could have easily snapped if I had not cut it out of here. Okay, put that off to the side, get rid of it in a little bit. Sitting here going, where's that other piece? Do this with the same way. And because this is much thinner wood, you can see that they put a lot larger gap there. Nice thing is that these are the tabs here are with the grain. So it's where the wood would naturally tend to split. I'll show you what I mean. So you can see, you can't really, naked eye you can see really well which way the grain runs on this wood. Trust me, it runs left and right there. So let me go ahead and file off the char. The reason I want to, it's not such a big deal on the drawer itself, on the sides of it, the back panel. But if the char is there, it is, even after you stain it, you're going to still see where it was cut. You also have, the other thing about staining it is, and I just realized I should do the staining before I do any glue, because the glue will not go through stain, and so you'll see exactly where the glue went. Let's see, maybe this side. No. My problem is I tend to use sanding sticks until, forever. Some of these sanding sticks are probably 7 or 8 years old, and I'm still using them, even though I got a bucket of them over to my right a little ways. And in certain places, you're not going to be able to get to the char. I'll show you what I mean. So there, I've sanded the char off. That's where it's charred from the laser. See inside there, I'm not going to be able to get to it, but that's okay because you're not going to see that. I just looked at that. Be very careful when you're doing the tabs. Matter of fact, be extremely gentle. You don't want to snap those tabs off. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Just a second here. So these little tabs you can very easily snap off. And since they're going to be mostly covered up like that, actually this one's going to go on here. Only going to lightly sand around them. The biggest spots you got to worry about are the ends right here. Very gently sand that, because otherwise you can snap it off. That one's good. I keep turning, I keep sanding the wrong direction. The reason I say it's the wrong direction is if you do across like this, it's fine with wood, but if you do it with like photo etch, you're liable to bend your photo etch. That's why you file with photo etch, you'll file along the plane of the piece. It's kind of funny, the camera's focusing on the veranda rather than me. Here, let's push you back a little bit. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. It's probably just as exciting as those lines would have been. I probably should have stopped the camera. Almost done. I'm getting the corners as well. So I'm going to do this smarter, not harder. All of these pieces that are going to need to be stained, I'm going to go ahead and take care of that now. I'm going to pause the camera, get the stain, get set up, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have classic golden oak Minwax stain, and all I'm going to do is do a quick dip, knock over the coffee cup, see how big a mess I can make. I'm going to pat it off. Paper towel is just to keep it from staining the desk too badly. And for a darker stain, you would leave it on longer. I just want a little bit of color. You can see there the difference between them. Like I said, doing it this way, I'm avoiding having to deal with areas where the stain would not go because of glue. And doing it this way, doing the quick dip and pat dry, it will actually be ready to be glued really quickly. Just almost re-dip that one. Some of these pieces are so small. And like I said, I could dip them and then let them sit for a couple minutes. But I like the way they're looking. Three more pieces to go. Probably should have picked an order because I just grabbed them and started dipping. I didn't think about which ones I'm going to have to glue first. Because the glue should go through they should glue together fine, even if the stain isn't completely dry. And that's why the paper towel is down. You know, they should glue together just fine. The problem is getting the stain all over my fingers. So set that off to the side. You can see gloves are not too badly stained. That did not make it all the way through. Good. So I'm going to take this piece here. Actually, I should be able to take the gloves off without any problems. So we take the base piece here, and we get the little thing of glue. By the way, you can see really well the difference from where the char came off, because it shows the layers of the wood now. It soaks in better there because the fibers of the wood are open rather than closed off the way they are when on a finished piece. The wood has swollen just a little bit from the moisture, which is fine because then it's going to grab pretty easily together. Actually, put a little bit of glue here. Okay. I was looking to see if I had to put glue on the sides, and I don't because that's where the table legs go. That's the thing is when the pieces swell up from the moisture, they do make it a little bit difficult to get them in there. And most of the glue right now, it may or may not grab. Like you may have seen the back actually almost came off. That's not going to be a big deal when the legs go on. It's actually going to be 90% of what holds the table together. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to line these up to where the outlines of the table legs are open. I'm just feeling there is no difference between front and back. So we're going to throw a little bit of glue here, here, here. That's part of the reason I use white glue is it gives me some time to work with the pieces. Wood glue is wood as well, but if you use CA, it's going to bond too quickly and you're not going to be able to adjust pieces. Like the back there was still sliding in a little bit. Now, like I said, everything's going to get lined up by the table legs. I've actually got this on here a little bit crooked. Then it came loose. Anyway. These pieces, when you do these pieces, it is a little bit tricky making sure you get everything in place at the same time. Right now the glue keeps letting go from the table. I probably could have let it sit for a couple minutes to actually dry completely. I put that one too late. I was going to say I put that one on backwards from what it was before, but it's too late. There we go. I'm just gently pushing the pieces into place where they go. Let me go ahead and move this paper towel up. And it fell off again. So let's try this one more time. After we clear the pipette on here. Might have to start considering using a different kind of glue because this is getting to be repetitive. I had the same issues putting the veranda together. It's not wanting to flow through the pipe. There we go. The wood glue actually is workable for a little bit, but it sticks a little bit faster than this stuff is. Okay, let's try this again. Working at this scale with all the furniture like this, and there are no this is going to call back to the space shuttle from a couple of years ago, but there are no indentations or what you could call, what was it? Locating parts. This is almost in place. Come on. Let's see if I can get some glue on here. If I can get these legs, these last two legs in place, then we'll be fine. Because once it sets up, that's glue's being a pain. Once it sets up, it will hold for good. Might have a little bit too much glue right there. But also got to be very careful that I do not knock the pieces back apart. And it's coming apart again. Come on. We're just falling apart, so. I really want to get this turned over on its legs so that it hopefully will stand straight. One leg is off. I have a three-legged table. What I'm doing right now, there. Things are lined up. I'm not messing with it. It'll dry. It might be a little bit off, but that's the beauty of older furniture like that. So let me see if I can figure out why this is not working. Sure, there's a little blob of glue, dried glue somewhere in the cap here. Let's try this again. Okay, so the back here is going to slide actually down inside between, the back is going to go down inside the drawer itself. This thing is really not wanting to flow. Okay. Set you over here. We'll deal with you later. I like the little pin like that, but I might have to rethink it because it's getting to be a pain. Like I said, the back is going to sit down in here. Take the tweezers, push it down, get it straight. Sit there for a second. Front should be a little bit easier because it's just going to push straight on the face of it. It can't push in. It'd be nice if it would grab. The glue is just not cooperating right now. Almost like I need to change them out completely because something is wrong with the glue I've got. Okay, set you down, take out this handle, get the handle pushed into the face of the drawer. Small drop of glue on it. And I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty these bottles or get new ones and just start over with the glue bottles. Just a little drop of glue. It says it's supposed to stick out about 1 millimeter. Let's see if we can get it to push in there at all. I looked away just as I dropped that and I was like, don't lose it. Okay, come on. Go in there. There we go. There's that little tiny drawer. We're going to let it stay. We're going to let that sit there. And this has, like I said, it firmed up really pretty quick. I'm pushing just a hair, trying to straighten it. There we go. It was a little bit crooked on there. That's probably as straight as I'm going to get it. Screwed up that leg. Come on. I can see daylight behind it. Back of the table just does not want to go in place. Little gentle pressure. So we're going to leave that sit. It sits level, which is all that really matters. And that, my friends, is all there is to do in stage 48 of the Moomin house. Little bitty furniture pieces are harder to build than big actual size furniture pieces. So thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate that you spent almost 40 minutes with me watching me build a model. If you did, if you didn't and you skipped through, that's fine too. Hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post additional content. Hope you're enjoying this build. I do love the Moomin house. It's just really hard. It's not really hard. It's slow to get to because it takes almost an hour for every issue, and and with other things going around the house, sometimes it can be tricky to find that time out of the day. Leave a comment. I respond to almost every comment. I love to hear what you have to say about what I'm doing. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow, and I will see you in the next video.